First contact. The gentle hum of advanced machinery filled the air as Dr. Samantha Chen made her final checks on the quantum resonance array. The massive dish antenna stretched out before her, its polished surface glinting in the late afternoon sun. After years of preparation, countless setbacks, and more than a few skeptical colleagues, tonight was the night. Tonight, humanity would broadcast its first deliberate message into the cosmos, a beacon of greeting and hope aimed at the stars. Samantha allowed herself a small smile as she inputted the last command sequences. Her fingers flew over the holographic interface, muscle memory taking over after countless simulations. With a deep breath, she pressed the final key. A low rumble built beneath her feet as the array powered up, ready to transmit humanity's message across the vast emptiness of space. Message away, she murmured, more to herself than the empty control room around her. Now we wait. But the universe, it seemed, had other plans. The first sign that something was amiss came as a faint tremor, barely perceptible at first. Samantha frowned, glancing at her readings. The array wasn't designed to cause seismic disturbances. The tremors intensified, rattling equipment and sending warning lights flashing across her monitors. What the hell? Samantha muttered, fingers flying as she attempted to diagnose the problem. But before she could make sense of the conflicting data, a blinding flash of light erupted from the center of the array's dish. Samantha threw up her arm to shield her eyes, stumbling back from the console. When the spots finally cleared from her vision, she gasped. Where the empty dish had been moments before, two figures now stood. They were unmistakably alien. Tall, slender forms covered in iridescent scales that shimmered with every movement. Their heads were elongated, crowned with what looked like delicate, translucent fins. 4 arms extended from each torso, ending in hands with too many fingers. But it was their eyes that truly captivated Samantha. Large, multifaceted orbs that seemed to take in everything at once. For a long moment, human and aliens regarded each other in stunned silence. Then, one of the aliens took a hesitant step forward. Its mouth, if that's what the strange, pulsating orifice was, opened and closed several times before a sound emerged. "Greetings, Earth-dweller," the alien said, its voice a melodic trill that seemed to bypass Samantha's ears and resonate directly in her mind. "We come in peace." Samantha blinked, her scientific training warring with the sheer impossibility of the situation. You speak English." The second alien made a series of clicks and whistles that might have been laughter. "We speak all languages and none," it explained. "Our minds connect directly. You hear what you expect to hear." "Right," Samantha said faintly, gripping the edge of her console for support. "Of course. Telepathic universal translators. Why not?" She took a deep breath, forcing herself to focus. "I'm Dr. Samantha Chen. Welcome to Earth. May I ask, who are you? And how did you get here?" The first alien inclined its head in what might have been a bow. "I am Zixara, and my companion is Vreen. We are explorers from a world you would call Kepler 186f. As for how we arrived," it gestured towards the array. "Your signal acted as a beacon, allowing us to open a temporary wormhole." Samantha's scientific curiosity began to override her shock. "A wormhole? That's incredible. The energy requirements alone would be..." Her excited speculation was cut short by a piercing alarm. Red warning lights bathed the control room as emergency sirens blared to life. Vreen's fin-like crest flattened against its skull. "What is the meaning of this aggressive noise?" "It's not aggressive, it's a warning," Samantha explained, turning back to her console. Her eyes widened as she took in the readings. "Oh no. What troubles you, Earth-dweller?" Zixara asked, moving closer to peer at the incomprehensible, to alien eyes, display. Samantha's fingers flew over the controls, desperately trying to avert disaster. "The wormhole you used to get here, it's destabilizing the local space-time continuum. If we don't find a way to close it soon, it could tear a hole in reality itself." The aliens exchanged a look that needed no translation. "We may have made a grave miscalculation," Vreen admitted. "You think?" Samantha snapped, fear making her tone harsher than she intended. She took a deep breath, forcing herself to calm down. Panicking wouldn't help anyone. "Okay, you opened this wormhole. Can you close it?" Zixara's crest rippled in what might have been the alien equivalent of a frown. "Normally, yes, but the interaction with your technology has created unforeseen complications. We lack the necessary equipment to safely seal the breach." Samantha's mind raced. The fate of the planet, perhaps the entire solar system, hung in the balance. And the only beings who might be able to help were two aliens who had accidentally caused the problem in the first place. "All right," she said, making a decision. "I need you to tell me everything you know about how this wormhole works. Every detail, no matter how trivial it might seem. Maybe together we can find a solution." As Zixara and Vreen began to explain concepts that pushed the boundaries of human scientific understanding, Samantha felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. This was first contact, humanity's first interaction with an alien species, and it might also be their last if they couldn't find a way to close that wormhole. The next few hours were a whirlwind of frantic calculations, improvised experiments, and technological jury-rigging that would have made MacIver proud. Samantha's human intuition and outside-the-box thinking complemented the aliens' advanced knowledge in ways none of them could have predicted. "If we reverse the polarity of the neutron flow," Samantha muttered, making yet another adjustment to the array's systems. Vreen's crest rippled with what might have been excitement. "Yes, and if we modulate the quantum harmonics to match the wormhole's resonance frequency, we just might be able to initiate a controlled collapse." Zixara finished, all four of its hands dancing over the modified controls. As the three unlikely allies worked, the ground beneath them shuddered with increasing violence. Reality itself seemed to warp and twist at the edges of their vision. Time was running out. "Now or never," Samantha said grimly, her hand hovering over the activation switch. She locked eyes with each of the aliens in turn, seeing her own determination mirrored in their alien gazes. "Ready?" At their nods, she flipped the switch. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like the universe itself taking a deep breath, the air around them shimmered. A pulse of energy rippled outward from the array, momentarily plunging the world into absolute silence. When Samantha's senses returned, she found herself sprawled on the floor of the control room. Groaning, she pushed herself to her feet, blinking away the spots dancing in her vision. "Did it work?" she asked, her voice hoarse. Zixara, looking somewhat worse for wear but intact, nodded. "The wormhole has been sealed. Your world is safe." Relief washed over Samantha, followed quickly by a wave of other emotions: excitement, wonder, and not a small amount of lingering fear. She had just helped save the planet from an alien-induced catastrophe. What happened now? As if reading her thoughts, and for all she knew, they might have been, Vreen spoke. "We owe you a great debt, Dr. Samantha Chen. Our carelessness nearly doomed your world. How can we begin to make amends?" Samantha looked at the two aliens, the first extraterrestrial beings humanity had ever encountered, and felt a smile tugging at her lips. "Well," she said, "I don't suppose you'd be up for a few interviews. I have a feeling the scientific community is going to have a lot of questions." As Zixara and Vreen agreed, their crests rippling with what Samantha was beginning to recognize as amusement, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. This was just the beginning. Humanity's first step into a larger universe, and she, Samantha Chen, would be there to help guide the way. The dawn of a new era had arrived, born from a chance encounter and forged in the fires of near catastrophe. Whatever came next, Earth would face it with new allies and the knowledge that they were not alone in the cosmos. As the first rays of sunlight began to peek over the horizon, Samantha led her alien guests out of the control room. It was time to introduce Earth to its new neighbors, and to help humanity take its first real steps into the stars. Cosmic diplomacy and unexpected threats. The world had changed overnight. News of Earth's first contact with extraterrestrial life spread like wildfire, igniting a global frenzy of excitement, fear, and curiosity. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight, her face plastered across every news channel and social media platform as the scientist who had not only made first contact, but had also helped save the planet from a catastrophic wormhole collapse. But as Samantha soon discovered, making history was the easy part. Now came the real challenge: interspecies diplomacy. "No, Mr. President," Samantha said, pinching the bridge of her nose in frustration. She stood in a hastily assembled command center, surrounded by a mix of military personnel and civilian scientists. On the massive screen before her, the stern face of the US president looked back. "We can't simply confiscate their technology. Zixara and Vreen are guests, not prisoners. And their knowledge isn't something we can just download like a computer file." The president's frown deepened. "Dr. Chen, I understand your position, but you must see this from our perspective. The security implications alone." "With all due respect, sir," Samantha interrupted, her patience wearing thin, "the security of our entire planet depends on maintaining good relations with our new allies. They've already agreed to share their knowledge, but it has to be on mutually acceptable terms." As if on cue, a commotion arose from the other side of the room. Samantha turned to see Zixara and Vreen enter, escorted by a nervous-looking group of scientists and security personnel. The aliens' iridescent scales shimmered under the harsh fluorescent lights, drawing every eye in the room. "Ah, speak of the devil," the president muttered. "Or shall I say, speak of the aliens." Samantha shot him a warning look before addressing her extraterrestrial friends. "Zixara, Vreen, is everything all right?" Vreen's crest rippled in what Samantha had come to recognize as agitation. "We grow concerned, Dr. Chen. Your people's curiosity is admirable, but some of their methods are unsettling." "What do you mean?" Samantha asked, a knot forming in her stomach. Zixara stepped forward, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the array of screens and blinking lights around them. "Several of your scientists attempted to obtain biological samples from us without our consent. When we refused, they became insistent." Samantha's eyes widened in horror. "They did what?" "I'm so sorry, that's completely unacceptable. I promise you it won't happen again." "See that it doesn't," the president's voice boomed from the screen. "The last thing we need is an interstellar incident." As Samantha turned to reassure the aliens, a young technician burst into the room, his face pale with panic. "Dr. Chen, we've got a problem." "When don't we?" Samantha muttered. "What is it now?" The technician thrust a tablet into her hands. "We've been monitoring space around the sealed wormhole site, and well, you need to see this." Samantha's blood ran cold as she took in the data on the screen. A massive object, easily the size of Manhattan, had appeared in high Earth orbit. It seemed to have emerged from the remnants of the wormhole's energy signature. "What in the name of Einstein's mustache is that?" she breathed. Zixara and Vreen crowded around, their alien features contorting in what could only be described as shock. "Impossible," Vreen whispered. "They couldn't have followed us." "Who?" Samantha demanded, a sense of dread washing over her. "Who followed you?" Before either alien could respond, every screen in the command center flickered to life. A face appeared, if you could call it a face. It was a writhing mass of tentacles surrounding a single baleful eye. When it spoke, the words seemed to slither directly into Samantha's mind, leaving an oily residue in their wake. "People of Earth," the creature intoned, its voice a cacophony of discordant frequencies. "We are the Void Collective. Your planet now stands on the precipice of enlightenment or oblivion. Surrender the fugitives to us, and we shall grant you the gift of assimilation. Resist and face annihilation." As the transmission cut off, plunging the room into stunned silence, Samantha turned to her alien friends. "I think," she said slowly, "you two have some explaining to do." What followed was a crash course in galactic politics that made Samantha's head spin. Zixara and Vreen, it turned out, weren't just simple explorers. They were refugees, fleeing from the oppressive rule of the Void Collective, a hive mind of energy beings that sought to uplift organic life by forcibly converting them into beings of pure energy. "We thought we had lost them," Zixara explained, its crest drooping in shame. "We never meant to bring this threat to your world." Samantha's mind raced, trying to process the implications. Earth, barely a week into its first alien encounter, now faced an interstellar war. They were hopelessly outgunned, out-etched, and out of their depth. But as she looked around the room, at the determination on the faces of her fellow humans, at the regret and resolve radiating from Zixara and Vreen, Samantha felt a spark of hope. This ragtag group of humans and aliens might be the universe's most unlikely defense force, but they were all that stood between Earth and cosmic oblivion. "Oh right," Samantha said, squaring her shoulders. "We've got a hostile alien armada in orbit, a global panic to manage, and about 1,000,000 ethical and technological hurdles to overcome. But we've also got the best minds humanity has to offer, and 2 aliens who know our enemy inside and out." She met each person's gaze in turn, her voice growing stronger with each word. "I say we show this Void Collective what happens when you threaten our planet. Who's with me?" The room erupted in cheers, human and alien voices joining in a cacophony of determination. As Samantha began outlining their strategy, she couldn't help but marvel at the strange turns her life had taken. She had dreamed of making first contact, of pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. But leading an interspecies resistance against a cosmic threat? That was beyond even her wildest imagination. Yet here she was, Earth's impromptu ambassador to the stars, about to wage a war against beings of pure energy. Samantha allowed herself a grim smile. If they survived this, it would make one hell of a story for the history books. As the unlikely allies got to work, the Void Collective's ship loomed ominously in the sky, a constant reminder of the cosmic sword of Damocles hanging over their heads. The clock was ticking, and the fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. Little did they know, the greatest challenges and the most unexpected alliances were yet to come. Quantum resistance and the human factor. The air crackled with tension in the hastily assembled war room deep beneath the Pentagon. Holographic displays flickered with real-time data on the Void Collective's looming presence, while a cacophony of voices, human and alien alike, filled the air with a mix of scientific jargon and military strategy. Dr. Samantha Chen stood at the center of the storm, her eyes darting between screens as she tried to make sense of the overwhelming influx of information. Beside her, Zixara and Vreen huddled over a makeshift console, their elongated fingers dancing across alien interfaces as they attempted to decrypt the Void Collective's communications. "Any luck?" Samantha asked, her voice hoarse from hours of non-stop planning and debate. Vreen's crest rippled in frustration. "Their quantum encryption is formidable. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape." "Keep at it," Samantha encouraged. "If we can crack their comms, we might find a weakness we can exploit." A commotion at the far end of the room drew her attention. A group of military officers were engaged in a heated argument with a disheveled man in a rumpled lab coat. Samantha recognized him as Dr. Ethan Reeves, a brilliant but eccentric quantum physicist she collaborated with in the past. "Everything okay over there?" she called out, making her way towards the group. The lead officer, a stern-faced general, turned to her with a scowl. "Dr. Chen, maybe you can talk some sense into your colleague here. He's proposing we use experimental technology that could very well blow up in our faces." Ethan's eyes lit up at the sight of Samantha. "Sam, thank God, someone who'll understand. Listen, I've been working on a theory. Quantum entanglement disruption. If we can synchronize our own quantum field with the Void Collective's energy signature, we might be able to create a feedback loop that could destabilize their entire network." Samantha's mind raced, connecting dots that had been eluding her for days. That could actually work. But the energy requirements would be astronomical. We need a power source orders of magnitude beyond anything we currently have. Zixara, who had drifted over to join the conversation, suddenly perked up. Perhaps not. Our ship's core utilizes a form of zero-point energy extraction. If we could integrate that with your quantum technology, we might just have a shot, Samantha finished, a glimmer of hope igniting in her chest. The general looked between them, his frown deepening. And the risks? What happens if this feedback loop of yours backfires? Ethan shrugged, a manic grin spreading across his face. Best case? Nothing. Worst case? We tear a hole in the fabric of space-time and create a singularity that swallows the solar system. But hey, no risk, no reward, right? Samantha shot him a warning look before turning to the general. Sir, I know it sounds crazy, but this might be our best chance. The Void Collective's ultimatum expires in 48 hours. We're out of time and conventional options. The general sighed, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. All right, Dr. Chen, you have my authorization. But for the love of God, try not to implode the planet. As the team scrambled to put their audacious plan into action, Samantha couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The Void Collective, for all their technological superiority, seemed to have a blind spot when it came to humanity. They had expected immediate capitulation, not this scrambling resistance. Zixara, she called out, a thought forming. You said the collective seeks to uplift organic life by converting it to energy. Why? What's their endgame? The aliens' multifaceted eyes seemed to cloud over. They believe physical form is a limitation, that true enlightenment can only be achieved by transcending the corporeal. But in doing so, they've lost something essential, something human. Samantha's eyes widened as the pieces fell into place. Emotion, individuality, the very things that make us who we are. That's why they can't predict our actions. They've forgotten what it means to be truly alive. A hush fell over the room as the implications sank in. They had been so focused on matching the Void Collective's technological might that they had overlooked humanity's greatest strength, its unpredictability, its passion, its sheer stubborn will to survive against all odds. Change of plans, Samantha announced, her voice ringing with newfound determination. We're still going ahead with the quantum entanglement disruption, but with a twist. We're not just going to attack their network, we're going to remind them what it means to feel. The next 36 hours were a blur of frantic activity, as Ethan and a team of engineers worked to integrate Zixara and Vreen's alien technology with Earth's most advanced quantum computers. Samantha led a different kind of effort. She coordinated with artists, musicians, poets, and dreamers from every corner of the globe, compiling a database of humanity's most powerful creations, works that stirred the soul and ignited the imagination. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. The Void Collective's massive ship still loomed in the sky, a silent threat that had the entire world holding its breath. In homes and bunkers across the planet, humans huddled around screens, waiting to learn their fate. In the war room, Samantha stood before the quantum array, her heart pounding. Zixara and Vreen flanked her, their alien features set in grim determination. Ethan gave her a thumbs up from his station, his fingers hovering over the activation sequence. This is Dr. Samantha Chen to all stations, she said, her voice carrying to listening posts around the world. We are commencing Operation Soulfire. May whatever gods are out there have mercy on us all. With a nod to Ethan, she pressed the button. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing at the seams, a beam of pure energy erupted from the quantum array. It lanced into the sky, connecting with the Void Collective's ship in a dazzling display of light and color. Alarms blared as sensors went haywire. The ship above them writhed, its smooth surface rippling like water. And then, carried on waves of quantum entanglement, humanity's greatest works began to flow. Symphonies and street art, epic poems and children's laughter, the raw emotion of a first kiss and the quiet dignity of a last goodbye, all of it streamed into the Void Collective's hive mind. Centuries of human experience compressed into a single, overwhelming burst of sensation and feeling. On screens around the world, the Void Collective's transmission flickered back to life. But instead of the emotionless, tentacled visage, a cacophony of faces appeared. Human faces, alien faces, expressions of joy and sorrow, wonder and fear. What is happening to us? The voice was no longer a monotone, but a chorus of individuals, each one awakening to long-dormant sensations. Samantha stepped forward, her voice steady despite the maelstrom of energy surrounding them. We're reminding you of who you used to be, of what you left behind in your quest for perfection. This is humanity, messy, chaotic, beautiful humanity. And we will not go quietly into the night. As the quantum link pulsed with the full spectrum of human emotion, something extraordinary began to happen. The Void Collective's ship started to change, its sleek surface giving way to organic curves and vibrant colors. Tendrils of energy reached out, not to destroy, but to connect. In that moment, as the barriers between species and states of being began to blur, Samantha realized they had achieved something far greater than victory. They had sparked a revolution, not just for Earth, but for life throughout the galaxy. As the quantum storm began to subside, Samantha turned to her alien friends, tears streaming down her face. "I think," she said with a laugh that was half sob, "we might have just changed the course of cosmic history." Zixara's crest rippled with an emotion that needed no translation. "No, Samantha," the alien replied, its voice thick with newfound feeling. "You have reminded us all what it truly means to be alive." As dawn broke over a world forever changed, humanity looked to the stars not with fear, but with hope. The age of isolation was over. A new era of cosmic cooperation and understanding had begun, born from the most uniquely human of qualities, the ability to feel, to dream, and to reach out across the void with open hearts and minds. The universe, it seemed, would never be the same again. Cosmic renaissance and the human touch. The days following Operation Soulfire were unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. As the Void Collective's massive ship hung in the sky, no longer a threat but a beacon of transformation, Earth found itself at the center of a galactic revolution. Samantha Chen, once a lone researcher dreaming of the stars, now stood as the linchpin of this cosmic upheaval. Her small office at the proposed array facility had become the unlikely nexus of interstellar diplomacy. "No, Ambassador Zixara," Samantha said, pinching the bridge of her nose as she addressed the holographic projection of her alien friend. "We can't just upload all of human culture into the collective's network. There are copyright issues to consider, not to mention the sheer volume of data." Zixara's crest rippled with what Samantha now recognized as a mix of amusement and frustration. "But Samantha, the hunger for human expression is insatiable. The reawakened members of the collective crave your art, your music, your... what do you call it? Memes." Samantha couldn't help but chuckle. The idea of ancient energy beings obsessing over cat videos and viral dances was both absurd and oddly heartwarming. "We'll figure out a cultural exchange program, I promise. But right now, we have more pressing concerns." As if on cue, a notification pinged on her holographic display. "Speaking of which, our guest has arrived." The door to her office slid open, revealing a figure that made Samantha's jaw drop. It was unmistakably a member of the Void Collective, but unlike anything she had seen before, the being's form shimmered and shifted, sometimes appearing as a swirling mass of energy, other times taking on eerily human characteristics. Its central eye, once cold and alien, now sparkled with unmistakable curiosity. "Greetings, Dr. Chen," the being said, its voice a harmonic blend of tones that seemed to resonate within Samantha's very bones. "I am Sylith, emissary of the Reborn Collective. I am here to learn." Samantha gestured for Sylith to take a seat, marveling at how the beings seemed to both occupy the chair and flow around it simultaneously. "Welcome to Earth, Hasilith. I have to admit, this is all still a bit surreal for me." The being's form rippled in what might have been laughter. "For us as well, Doctor. For eons we thought we had achieved perfection in our energy state. But your Sci-Fi has awakened something long dormant within us. We find ourselves, feeling again. It is both exhilarating and terrifying." As Samantha began to explain some of the finer points of human emotion and culture, she couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. It was like those first days with Zixara and Vreen, but on a cosmic scale. The universe, it seemed, had developed an insatiable appetite for humanity's unique blend of chaos and creativity. The conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from the UN Secretary-General. "Dr. Chen, we have a situation developing in orbit. Multiple unidentified ships have just appeared near the collective vessel. We need you up here now." Samantha's heart raced as she and Silith hurried to the newly constructed space elevator, a marvel of human and alien engineering that had sprung up in the wake of first contact. As they ascended towards the orbiting UN space station, Samantha's mind whirled with possibilities. Had the reborn collective called for reinforcements? Was this a new, unknown threat? The scene that greeted them in the station's observation deck was beyond anything Samantha could have imagined. Dozens of ships, each unique in design and pulsing with otherworldly energy, surrounded the massive collective vessel. But instead of weapons, the ships were broadcasting. Streams of data, visible as shimmering ribbons of light, flowed between the vessels, and mixed in with the alien transmissions were unmistakably human signals, snatches of music, flashes of art, bursts of literature from every culture on Earth. What is this?" Samantha breathed, awestruck by the cosmic light show before her. Tilith's form expanded, tendrils of energy reaching out as if to touch the distant ships. "They have come," the being said, its voice filled with wonder. "Word of the Great Awakening has spread across the galaxy. These are representatives from 1,000 worlds, all seeking to experience what you have given us." The UN Secretary-General turned to Samantha, his eyes wide. "Dr. Chen, it appears that humanity has inadvertently sparked a cosmic renaissance," Samantha finished, the words feeling right as soon as they left her lips. As if in response to the declaration, a new signal cut through the chatter. A face appeared on the main view screen, not human, not collective, but something gloriously in between. Its features shifted constantly, as if trying to encompass all the diversity of life in the universe. "People of Earth," the being said, its voice a symphony of harmonics that brought tears to Samantha's eyes. "We are the Galactic Concord, a union of species dedicated to the preservation and celebration of life in all its forms. Your Sci-Fi has awakened a yearning across the cosmos, a hunger for connection, for emotion, for the vibrancy of corporeal existence that we had forgotten." The being's gaze seemed to focus directly on Samantha. "We come not to conquer or assimilate, but to learn, to share, to grow. Humanity, in all its beautiful chaos, has reminded the galaxy of what it means to truly live. Will you join us in this new age of discovery?" Samantha felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This was more than first contact, more than averting a crisis. This was the dawn of a new era for all sentient life. With a deep breath, she stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity," she said, her voice steady despite the enormity of the moment, "I say, welcome to the family." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Cheers erupted from the UN staff around her. The ships in orbit pulsed with vibrant colors. And through it all, Samantha felt a connection, not just to the aliens surrounding Earth, but to every dreamer, every explorer, every person who had ever looked up at the stars and wondered. As the impromptu celebration raged around her, Samantha found a quiet corner to collect her thoughts. She looked out at the Earth below, beautiful and fragile, now the focal point of a galactic renaissance. "Not bad for a girl who just wanted to send a message to the stars," she murmured to herself. A gentle tendril of energy touched her shoulder. Haxilith stood beside her, its form now a swirling mosaic of human and alien characteristics. "You have given the universe a priceless gift," Samantha Chen, the being said softly. "You have reminded us of the power of the human touch." As Samantha gazed out at the cosmic tapestry unfolding before her, she realized that this was just the beginning. Humanity's journey to the stars had taken an unexpected turn, becoming not a tale of conquest or survival, but one of connection, creativity, and the irrepressible spirit of life itself. The cosmic renaissance had begun, and Earth was its beating heart. The quantum carnival and the echoes of humanity. As Earth spun into its third month as the epicenter of the galactic renaissance, Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the heart of the most audacious experiment in cosmic history. The United Nations Space Station, once a symbol of humanity's first tentative steps into orbit, had been transformed into a swirling nexus of interstellar culture dubbed the Quantum Carnival. Samantha stood on the station's newly constructed observation deck, her breath fogging the transparent aluminum as she gazed out at the spectacle before her. Hundreds of alien ships, each a marvel of design and function, danced in complex patterns around Earth. But it wasn't their technology that held her attention, it was the dazzling display of art and music emanating from each vessel. "Incredible, isn't it?" a voice chirped beside her. Samantha turned to see Vreen, her alien friend's iridescent scales shimmering with excitement. "Who would have thought that your species' TikTok dances would become a galactic sensation?" Samantha chuckled, shaking her head in wonder. "Certainly not me, though I'm not sure whether to be proud or terrified that Earthling moves are now trending across 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way." Their banter was interrupted by a sudden commotion near the station's central hub. A crowd had gathered around a peculiar sight. A being composed entirely of pulsating light was attempting to operate a vintage jukebox, its tendrils of energy fumbling with the mechanical controls. "Ah," Samantha sighed, "looks like another member of the Reborn Collective discovering the joys of physical interaction. Shall we?" As they made their way through the throng of humans and aliens, Samantha marveled at how quickly the impossible had become routine. Crystalline beings from the depths of gas giants debated philosophy with octopoid intelligences from ocean worlds. Energy constructs like the fumbling jukebox operator explored the tactile joys of corporeal existence, while humans eagerly signed up for consciousness expansion workshops led by entities that defied description. "Greetings, Luminary Chen," the light being called out as they approached. Its voice was a cascade of chimes and whispers. "I'm attempting to access this primitive data storage and playback device, but I fear my non-corporeal form is ill-suited to the task." Samantha smiled, still not quite used to her new title of Luminary, a rank hastily created by the Galactic Concord to honor her role in sparking the cosmic renaissance. "Here, let me help you with that," she said, reaching for the jukebox. "What song did you have in mind?" The being's light pulsed with excitement. "I have become enamored with a musical composition from your mid-20th century. I believe it is called Bohemian Rhapsody." As the opening piano chords filled the air, Samantha couldn't help but laugh. Of course, alien beings would gravitate towards one of humanity's most eclectic and emotional songs. She watched in amazement as the light being began to shift and swirl in time with the music, its form expanding and contracting with each crescendo and quiet moment. "Samantha." Zixara's voice cut through the growing crowd. The alien scientist hurried towards her, all 4 arms gesticulating wildly. "You must come quickly. The harmonic convergence is about to begin." With a quick apology to the light being, who was now thoroughly lost in its own Queen-inspired light show, Samantha followed Zixara to the station's main auditorium. The vast chamber had been converted into a mind-bending concert hall, with instruments from 1,000 worlds arranged in concentric circles around a central stage. As they took their seats, Samantha leaned in close to Zixara. "Remind me again what exactly a harmonic convergence is." Zixara's crest rippled with excitement. It is the pinnacle of musical expression in the known galaxy. Musicians from diverse species combine their unique auditory perceptions to create a symphony that transcends individual experience. But this time, the alien paused for dramatic effect. This time, they will be incorporating human music into the performance. Before Samantha could respond, the lights dimmed. A hush fell over the assembled crowd, a mix of corporeal and energy beings from across the cosmos. In the center of the stage, a figure materialized, the same shifting, multifaceted being that had first addressed Earth on behalf of the galactic Concord. Sentience of all forms, the being's voice resonated through the chamber, bypassing ears and penetrating directly into minds. We gather here to witness a historic moment in galactic harmony. For the first time, the harmonic convergence will embrace the raw emotional power of Earth's music. Prepare yourselves for echoes of humanity. What followed defied description. Alien sounds blended with familiar human melodies, creating something entirely new. Samantha felt tears stream down her face as a Jovian crystal being's subsonic rumbles merged with the soaring vocals of a Terran opera singer. Percussion from a dozen worlds kept time with the primal beat of human hearts. As the music swelled to its climax, Samantha became aware of a strange sensation. The boundaries between herself and those around her seemed to blur. She could feel the wonder of the crystalline being, the fierce joy of a feathered alien from a high-gravity world, the serene contentment of an energy construct billions of years old. In that moment of transcendent connection, Samantha understood. This was the true power of humanity's gift to the cosmos, not just art or music or emotion, but the ability to bridge divides, to find common ground in the vast diversity of existence. As the final notes faded away, leaving the auditorium in stunned silence, Samantha felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to see Exhilarating, the reborn collective emissary, its form now a swirling amalgamation of light and shadow. Luminary Chen, Exhilarating's voice was thick with emotion. I have a request. The reborn collective has been discussing our future, and we believe the time has come for a grand experiment. Samantha raised an eyebrow, intrigued. What kind of experiment? Serdith's form shimmered with nervous energy. We wish to experience full corporeal existence. To truly understand what it means to be human, we must become human, or at least as close to human as our energy-based nature will allow. Samantha's mind reeled at the implications. An entire civilization of energy beings voluntarily taking on physical form. The scientific, ethical, and philosophical ramifications were staggering. That's unprecedented, she managed to say. Are you sure you've considered all the consequences? Shillith's central eye met her gaze, filled with determination and a very human glint of mischief. My dear Samantha, if there's one thing we've learned from humanity, it's that the most rewarding experiences often come from leaping into the unknown. Will you help us take this leap? As the harmonic convergence's audience burst into thunderous applause around them, Samantha felt a smile tugging at her lips. This was why she had looked to the stars all those years ago, not just to discover new worlds, but to push the boundaries of what was possible. All right, Kylith, she said, her voice filled with equal parts excitement and trepidation. Let's make some history. As news of the reborn collective's decision spread through the quantum carnival, Samantha realized that the cosmic renaissance was entering a new phase. Humanity had reminded the galaxy how to feel, how to create, how to truly live. Now, it was time to show them how to evolve. The stars above Earth twinkled with newfound brilliance, as if the entire cosmos was holding its breath in anticipation. Whatever came next, one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again. And at the center of it all stood humanity, no longer alone in the cosmos, but the beating heart of a grand, interconnected tapestry of life and consciousness. The journey that had begun with a simple message beamed into space had become something far greater, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to inspire, to connect, and to transform the very fabric of reality itself. As Samantha looked out at the swirling dance of ships and stars, she whispered a quiet promise to the cosmos. We're just getting started.